What's up, you guys? Venture Warrior here doing another retro figure review. I guess at this point we can call it retro because this figure is probably almost 20 years old at this point. Wow. Yeah, this time on a pretty cool Marvel figure slash character. Um, this character is a super villain. Could always use more villains. I still need to get some more villains. I sold a few. I sold a few of my villains like last year. So I need to get some more Marvel villain, just villain characters in general I like to get. Um, so yeah, this is a pretty interesting figure. It wasn't part of the Marvel Legend toy line, but it was made around the time that the Legend toy line, you know, had been around for a couple years. So it uses a lot of the same like materials and posability, and it has like the quality of a Toybiz Marvel Legend. So I'm sure for a lot of collectors, like this character was the one to have in your collection if you were to have a Marvel Legend display or whatever. So yeah, like I said, without further ado, let's look at this awesome toy. He kind of used the old school packaging. So yes, we are looking at Toy Biz Marvel Hulk Classics, or the Incredible Hulk Classics toy line. Absorbing Man, with mace and swinging action. Okay, so side note, there's a YouTuber who does Hulk content, um, and they did a video talking about this particular, pretty much all the Hulk toy lines. And the last one they did, they talked about this toy line, which had like 2 series, I think. Yeah, so I've wanted this figure for years. I was actually introduced to this Absorbing Man figure through an old stop motion of all things. Um, I do kind of want to get back into making stop motion. I made a few last year, which turned out kind of decent using my Marvel figures. Um, and I made one recently with Absorbing Man and the Hulk. It's kind of amateurish, to be honest with you. Could have, I could have been a little bit better, but I had fun making it, so I might upload that at some point. Um, but yeah, I'll get into that. This figure wasn't easy to animate with because of his looseness, which we'll get into. But yeah, like I said, love this guy. He's awesome. I would have definitely loved him back then, because I had one of the figures from this line back then, and that figure's on the back. I'll show which one I had. And he's a very eye-catching figure. I love this guy. He's awesome. He's just very eye-catching, and I'm a big fan of the Absorbing Man character. So, um, for the time, this figure was a really good, solid representation of that character. So it says super posable, 36 points of articulation. Dope. I love it. Like I said, like seeing this in a Walmart back in the day would have been eye-catching. And again, I think figures like these, like the Marvel Legends and stuff, were like $10. You were like the market back then was so different, man. Like you were getting so much for less than $20 almost. Like you probably could have got 2 action figures for $20. It's crazy. That is crazy, man. Um, you see a little prototype image of him on the back. So the back of the packaging, we have, try to show it the best way I can. We have, it says based on artwork by Arthur Adams, who is still, I believe, yeah, is a well-known comic artist. I'm sure he's still drawing comics, hopefully, which is dope. I like that. And that's another cool thing. They kind of took art pieces from artists at the time and modeled the figures to kind of look like said art pieces. Or looks for the characters, which are always appreciated. So yeah, it's cool that this Asorbing Man is based off Arthur Adams' design of him, which is really cool. Got the ball and chain and everything. So yeah, so unfortunately it does not give a bio on Asorbing Man, which kind of sucks, but as a kid, I don't know, it was still cool. Like for me, like my first Marvel Legend was not Daredevil, Silver Surfer. I miss that figure. I do want to re-get that Toybiz Silver Surfer. They re-released the Toybiz one in the early days when Hasbro started making Marvel Legends. They re-released it with kind of a better paint job. So I want to get that one at some point. But the original came with a Howard the Duck and a display stand and his surfboard. And I didn't know who Silver Surfer was because that was some years before Rise of the Silver Surfer came out. So um, that was cool for me as a kid. Like, holy crap, who's the Silver Surfer? Um, but yeah, it says in a freak accident, Dr. Bruce Banner threw himself into harm's way to save a teenager. During this Valor act, Dr. Banner was left forever altered. In fits of rage and high anxiety, the extremely brilliant scientist becomes the brutish, rampaging monster, the Incredible Hulk. Yes, who like I said, I do have a Marvel Legend Incredible Hulk, so I will show him. I'll show these two together. Um, Dr. Banner is now constantly searching to rid himself of his alter ego, all while trying to stay one step ahead of those who seek to destroy him. So again, I like that we get a really nice little bio about Dr. Banner and the Hulk, but this figure is the Absorbing Man. So why did they not give us a bio on him? Unfortunately, this line only had two villains. Well, technically three. I'm about to get into that. Absorbing Man, Abomination, who I really like. Abomination would later get a updated figure in the Marvel Legend toy line. It was a series where it was all just villains, and the Build-A-Figure was a super villain, which is really really cool. There's a handful. Well, I had Loki. I had Loki from that wave. Like I said, there's a few other characters I like to get from that wave, but I would like to get the classics Abomination, who they do not show on the back of this. You see proof of purchase, Toybiz, Marvel.com. I'm trying to show the best way. So you can see his gimmick, which still, surprisingly, the gimmick still works. He just swings the mace, or yeah, the ball and chain. So you see we got World War Hulk. Very expensive now. Really cool piece. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, this figure, War Hulk, really cool. He's kind of expensive on the secondhand market, especially if you're able to get him complete, because he comes with a lot of cool accessories. Dope, maybe. We got like a Smart Hulk, which we just got a new version, which looks really really good. We got Gray Hulk, but as Joe Fixit, where he was like a mobster or something. I still really would like to get that one. I really do want to get that one. Yeah, I'll get into that. We're gonna be a little bit all over the place with this review. Um, we have Gamma Punch Hulk, which I see I've found him on Macari for a good deal, but of course he comes without Dr. Banner. But that's what made this set really cool. You got two figures. You got Dr. Banner. You got the Hulk. Even though I do like this Dr. Banner, it is dated. Um, he doesn't have Marvel Legend posability, which is weird. They didn't give him Marvel Legend posability, so he kind of feels more like an accessory than a proper action figure. But he just has basic swivel joints. But that would be a really cool, especially for the time. We got a proper 1/12 scale Dr. Banner. Like that would have been that was really really cool. Um, Let me see. Okay, I apologize if there was noise in the background. So last we have Mecha Hulk. Mecha Hulk was the one I had back in the day. This figure, this figure was phenomenal back then, and he comes with Gremlin, um, who is a Hulk villain. So technically, we got three villain characters. Sucks we didn't get the leader, who did later on get a figure in the Marvel Face Off line. He came in a 2-pack with a new Hulk figure at the time. That was really cool. Yeah, oh man, but I like it though. You can have a Hulk display if you want to. So like I said, I have this figure. I think he's going for like 300 now. Um, I think my mine's arm broke. I don't know how long I had him, unfortunately, but this figure was phenomenal back then. I was mesmerized. Like, who the heck is Mecha Hulk? He had a good sculpt, and he was just really cool. Would I get him now? Probably not. Like I said, I'm content with Absorbing Man, and maybe, like I said, a couple other figures I wouldn't mind getting. Um, but yeah, like I said, I would say I'm a diehard Hulk fan at this point. Hulk has always been part of my childhood. I've seen the animated show. I've recently been watching the '70s TV show with Lou Ferrigno. That's been a little slow, but that's a very charming show. I really enjoyed that show. I've seen the TV movies. Of course, I have seen the '03 version. I did not get to see the 2008 version in theaters, but I've seen it many times since then. I grew up playing the handheld Hulk game on the Game Boy and on the Nintendo DS. Those were a lot of fun. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm a Hulk fan. I love the Hulk, diehard Hulk fan. Don't like how he's been handled in the last decade or so with how Marvel's been portraying him. I was disappointed in the She-Hulk show. The She-Hulk show started off pretty good and then just went downhill. Um, because we're talking about a Hulk-related figure or character affiliated with the Hulk, I decided to show my my Hulk blanket all the way from 2003. See the Hulk '03 logo. I wish I kept the tag on it because that would have made it more authentic. But yes, this came from the 2003 movie. This is merchandise from the 2003 movie. All these years later, at least I still have it. Um, yeah, like it's crazy. Like this is a piece of my childhood, my Hulk blanket. So I still use it, just like a throw to have a lightweight blanket to have, you know. So like I said, I'll probably hold on to that. You see, 20 years, almost 20 years later, it's still in good condition. So yeah, so like I said, unfortunately, due to the old style packaging, there wasn't much I could do. There's no resealing this guy. Like I said, I got him around 3 years ago. Um, and I wanted there's two versions of this Absorbing Man. One where he has the big Hulk arm, and one where his Hulk arm is like normal sized. That one looked kind of meh. So I, of course, wanted the variant one, which, of course, variants are going to go for a little bit more money. Um, but yeah, here is the ball and chain, which is really cool. I like the paint on this. Dope. Like I said, really, really cool. And yeah, and then we have the figure itself. If I can pull him out. Yeah, so when I had him put away, I just put him back in, set him back in the packaging. Ooh, yeah, there is Absorbing Man, Crusher Krill, Carl Crusher Krill, who again, like I said, has a cool backstory. So it's a shame that the packaging doesn't tell you who he is. Hang on, let me have his other two accessories, where he comes with different arms. Yeah, so really cool. And then there's the artwork, the card back. So of course, I got him brand new. I'm keeping, of course, I'm keeping everything. And like I said, just put him back to reseal it, or put it back like that, and I wrap it up in bubble wrap and put them away. So yeah. Um, so like I said, here is Absorbing Man, a really cool character. And just like I said, just for any kid, like even if you're not familiar with the character, just seeing this guy on shelves or on a toy aisle, like he just stands out visually. And like I said, if you're a kid, you're a fan of the Hulk, and you have a Hulk, or you have one of the Hulks from this line, you're like, yeah, I want a character that my Hulk can fight. So of course you would grab this cool looking dude, and the way they have him displayed in the box, he has the Hulk arm. So you're like, what is his powers? What can he do? This guy can go toe to toe with the Hulk. That's just so cool to me. Um, so like I said, interesting character. He originated as a Thor villain, so he has gone toe to toe with Thor and the Hulk. Um, he was a prison inmate. Loki discovered him, gave him a magical elixir. He, of course, drank the elixir, gave him his powers to absorb any material, um, including gamma, someone's gamma energy, as you can see. Excuse me. And he broke out of prison, and Thor had to go, handle it. And he gave Thor a run for his money. Well, that's pretty cool. Of course, throughout the years, he's done other things and had his character expanded on and all that good stuff, all that good Marvel stuff. He's married to a villain named Titania, who's another cool villain. I think she's a She-Hulk villain. I think she was in the She-Hulk show, for better or for worse, briefly. And he also appeared in the MCU. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They haven't brought him back, unfortunately. Um, so Titania got a figure like earlier this year, or yeah, I think it was earlier this year, last year. Um, Solid. I really like the Titania. I'll probably get her with a handful of other Marvel characters. I'll definitely get her, have them display together. And of course, he's gotten other figures outside of this. He got a toy in the 90s, Hulk toy line based off the cartoon. And we got this one in like 2003, 2004. Then years later, we got one from Hasbro when they did their Fing Fang Foom Wave, which wasn't, that's probably like the worst Absorbing Man toy, unfortunately. Then we got a Build-A-Figure and the, modern uh, Marvel Legend toy line. That Build-A-Figure is still really solid. Of course, he's a Build-A-Figure, so he's a little bit bigger. He comes with interchangeable arms and different head, face. And then we got the latest one, which is part of the Secret Wars line. And that's probably the best one we've gotten of Absorbing Man. The only downside is that he did not come with any interchangeable arms, like this figure, which was really weird. He came with his ball and chain. He came with interchangeable hands and interchangeable heads with different facial expressions, but he didn't come with the arms. You can take the Build-A-Figure and attach the arms to the new figure, which is cool. But that was just really weird. I'll probably still get him though, because like I said, it's like the best version of Absorbing Man we've gotten. He just doesn't come with any accessories that represent his powers. So it's kind of a bittersweet. Um, but like I said, definitely like to get Titania. Absolutely, she's an awesome looking figure. I used to have a She-Hulk. I plan to get another one at some point. So I plan to get a lot of these Hulk affiliated characters. Um, but yeah, with all that being said, let's focus on this figure. So like I said, he's like he was made like how the Marvel Legends were being made at the time. 36 points articulation. Not perfect because he's still a gimmicky figure, but he's awesome. He's cool. So for starters, like I said, the detail on him, he has kind of like with the Wolverine, some of Wolverine's figures at the time, he has hair painted on his chest, which is a nice touch. Like I said, he has the ab crunch, go front, go back. Doesn't have a waist swivel, which isn't a big deal. And the arm can go up and down. It can rotate, but because of the gimmick, that's one downside. It has this big silly button on his back because he is a gimmick figure. But it can go in and out. You can move the hand, and you can go down, and the thumb. The thumb is articulated on all the hands, which is really cool. I love the detail with the chain wrapped around his forearm. And you can pose him to hold the ball and chain. So let's see if I can get it to work. Let's see. We can get the ball and chain to work. So take the first link and try to like nudge his thumb on that. And kind of like that. And oh, there we go. So it works. It still works. So I mean, you can just use your imagination, and so the swinging gimmick still works, um, which I'm grateful for. Um, like I said, you can get him, pose him holding the ball and chain. I don't know if he'll stand for me on my betting, but yeah, let's see if we can get him to stand. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, you understand. Oh, not for long, not for long. And that's kind of a downside about these older Toybiz toys. Do Even though they gave them phenomenal posability, which is great, superposable action figure, um, that also kind of contributed to them having a lot of looseness. And he does kind of have looseness in his ball joints. I think there's a way to kind of fix that, but I really don't want to alter this figure too much, especially considering his age and how much I paid for him. I got him new and all that stuff. So it doesn't go as far as trying to animate with this guy. It does make it kind of difficult because of his looseness. But like I say, he can still hold a pose. He can still, he's still solid even with that unfortunate um, looseness. So, oh, like it says, remove the ball and chain. Like I said, the detail on this is really nice. Oh, there we go. The detail on this is really nice. Really cool. I dig it. It was really, really cool. Oh, excuse me. Um, like I said, this arm, of course, can go 360 because it's removable. Got the double jointed arms and rotation, and like I said, the hand can open up, and the thumb can open up, and the detail on the Hulk hand is really cool, nicely sculpted. Like I said, his face is really cool. He just looks mean and not necessarily like a scumbag, but just a guy you don't want to come across. He looks like a scary dude. Um, he's a nice face. Teeth are showing. His some bushy eyebrows. He has nice. His eyes are nicely painted. Nice blue eyes. He has the veins in different parts of his body on his hand, and like I say, he's wearing a prison. So he's wearing a prison outfit. Um, no shirt, shirtless, of course, shirtless man. Give to children. He has his prison number on there, which is really it's a really cool detail. The dirt on his boots and stuff, and detail, and look his like I said, his boots, and like I said, some ridges in his crotch area. Um, I'm sure you could probably find like a shirt. I did have a shirt that I had and put on this guy, but it kind of tore. Not a big deal. So if you want to have him wear a shirt, because usually you can't see him, like he does wear like a tank top. So I could find like a 1/12 scale tank top and put it on him. I'll probably do that at some point. Um, yeah, like I said, he's nicely. It's a nice figure. He's fun. Like I said, it's just he has the swinging arm gimmick, but he's just a fun, cool toy. And this is what I love about toys. You have like I say, he has a play feature. He's a cool character with a cool background. You know, he has this cool ability and he has these accessories. So, yes, like I said, the arm is removable, very easy. Don't be scared. um, I can have him with one arm. Um, so when he's been defeated, Hulk tears his arm off and beats the crap out of him to show him that Hulk is the strongest there is. So here's the arm that looks like it's made of like iron, like yeah, made of metal iron, which is really really cool. And I'll show like this has some really nice detail on it. I don't know how well it'll come in, but it has some really nice detail, and I like how the hand, like this is just very well made, sculpted. Even like his fingernails are sculpted, and it just looks really good. This is just really really cool. Um, it's kind of cool. Looks like he could do a. Looks like he could do a karate chop. um, but yeah, like I said, that's the metal arm. I dig it. Um, and last but not least, let's show the metallic one. Um, ooh, which is cool about this one. It looks like animantine. I'm not sure if that was the intention, but it looks like Wolverine's claws. And the hands are very claw-like. So I don't know if that was the intention, but it's really, really cool. The thought of him absorbing adamantium is scary as well because he's a bad guy. So think about all the damage he could do with an adamantium clawed hands. Um, but yeah, so like I said, he gets 3 arms. Cool. Um, like I said, posability. His knees are double jointed. They say he has good posability in his legs, like so the ball joint. It's just like I said, they're loose. That's a shame. But um but yeah, like I said, my first introduction was I saw him in a stop motion, the Avengers versus Masters of Evil. And he was in that stop motion. He got to do a couple of cool stuff, fought uh Captain Marvel, I mean Miss Marvel at the time, and Hulk. He tried to absorb Hulk's energy, and Hulk turned around and punched him, and it was funny. He just went flying. It was funny. So here's our size comparison with the. This was a re-release. The Planet Hulk, Planet Hulk, in the Marvel Legend, the Hasbro Marvel Legend wave. So see how much Hulk towers over him. Hang on, let me. Again, this figure, awesome piece. I love this figure for years. This was my favorite Marvel Legend Hulk. He probably still is, even though, like I said, there are other Hulks and some of the newer Hulk related figures I would like to get. So let's see him without his gladiatorial accessories. Um, don't know if I give. I don't know if Hulk. Did I do a review for him? I think I did. I can't remember. He might get a review. Even though I don't have the original packaging, it'll still be fun to talk about this guy because, like I said, it's my favorite Hulk figure. So yeah, here he is next to Hulk. So they look cool together. So he is a Hulk villain. So it's cool to have another supervillain that Hulk can, you know, who can go toe to toe with my Hulk. So that's really cool. I dig it. I love it. Of course, I have Wolverine, so I can have Hulk and Wolverine pose together. Um, the Asorbing Man could fight Wolverine because he is a supervillain. He could fight my Spider-Man, which was cool at one point in time. So the Abomination and the Asorbing Man in this Hulk toy line were kind of hard to get. For some reason. So Toybiz did re-release them with Spider-Man figure. The Spider-Man figure, probably the Spider-Man has probably not aged the best as far as posability, but you could get these guys. You could get a Spider-Man in a 2-pack with a Zorba-Man and Abomination. Weird, but it was another way for people to get those figures. So, um, but yeah, I know it's kind of a long one. I had a lot to say. Like I said, I recommend them. Like I said, there's the most recent version, which is going to be a lot cheaper because it's a brand new Marvel Legend toy. Um, like I said, you could get your hands on that guy. Try to hunt down this one. I saw some listings for him. Um, I saw a few listings for him. You know, so if you want to pay the money, go and grab this this vintage Toybiz one. Like I said, it's the Build-A-Figure that came out. I'm trying to get him to hold it. There we go. So, yeah. This is the vintage one that came out. Um, so you have variety if you're interested in picking up a Zorba Man. And I forgot. So the 2003 movie, technically they made, spoiler, if you haven't seen that movie, technically Dr. Banner's father was the main villain of that movie, and they basically made him Absorbing Man in that movie, which was really cool. That was really, really cool. So that version of the character did get a figure in the Hulk toy line, which kind of dated, but still really cool. So that exists as well if you want a movie Absorbing Man, I guess. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, it's a cool, rare piece of Marvel action figure history, part of a cool line of figures. Like I said, a whole toy line dedicated to the Hulk. Really cool, even though we only got 3 villains and only had 2 waves, but it exists. It's out there if you want it. Um, yeah, that's it for this video. Like I said, next video, I have a lot of upcoming figures on the way, so stay tuned for that. One will be Transformer related, and one will surprisingly be video game related. I will be looking at a video game figure. I haven't done one of those in a while, so I look forward to talking about that figure because it is a character I've wanted for some years, and I just finally decided to grab him. But yeah, that's it. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Peace, you guys.